Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices for the 20th of August. And this particular high over here on the SPX was 3,393.52, and this current high over here on the SPX was just breached this high here at 339954. So our target to the upside had been the 3400, obviously, and what we decided to do was to we understood that the market would react, and it is reacting, and we'll just allow it to react until we can work out if the reaction is impulsive bearish or corrective bullish. Okay, so we just need to stand aside for a second and look at that. And the other point here too is that how far will it react, correct, and so on and so on. So if the market just has a small correction to where it is now, and then moves above the level, the 3400, and develops support on that, well, then we're going to be looking at going long at that point. Let's just go to maybe the hourly chart or something here. Just so what I'd been doing, and I don't know if it's right or wrong, but in terms of wave 3 here and ABC for wave 4 here, and this has been a pretty tricky little sucker to pin down, I have to say, this little trend all up through here. It was being lifted by the Nasdaq in parts, but we labeled it 1 and 2 here, and then all the way up here for 3 and 4 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 over here, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 to finish at that 3400. So we've done that. Yes, this does appear to be impulsive in terms of R5 waves. We'll just sort of come back to this in a moment. So I think any long trades that we've had in here were exited at the 34 here, and then they were just shy of that a tad. And as I mentioned, this does look impulsive to the downside here. We can come back and have a look at that. But in a nutshell, 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So what we should see here, just while I'm here, is we should see this is also group 2 here in regards to the trading levels, and the 72 is important, as you know, if you know me a little bit. And we'd probably be looking for a corrective move like this here, pulling back to the 50-60% retracement level here for this, which is about there, and then we can move down from that point there. So if this does rally from here, then this particular low here becomes a trigger, doesn't it, for short trades as such. I'll just borrow this over here, move this over here. We can put that here. We can also, with this as well, we can also put this on the low, and also wave B here as well. So let's just imagine that's the low there, and then this wave B is here for this. So that would be another way to do it, or you can just also short from this point here as well. It's also probably possible to we should see, I mean, it may drop low or whatever, but to short it, we want to rally, and we need to identify this here properly. But also, before we get into the shorting business of all of this, I do want to, the other point here that I want to make too is from wave 4 here, we can count sort of 5 waves up here. We could count 1, 2, 3, 4 here, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 to here. So probably A and B and C here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, right. I'm just wondering if this is an A and a B and a C, and we actually end here and push up. And the reason I say that for is that if we just take a look at the Nasdaq for a moment, because this has been a bit of a guide stick for me anyway, and wave 3 here, ABC for wave 4 here, and then we've been tracking this up through here as wave 1 here, ABC for 2 here, and then all the way up for 3 here and back for 4 here, and then we've had this little move here. Now, with this move here, at first instance, I was counting this as 1 and 2 here, which is cool, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the third wave, and ABC for the fourth, pulling back to the fourth wave 1 lesser degree, that's all good. And then looking at all of this as the fifth wave up here. Now, to me, what sort of, and that's okay, and I had the target of 11,500, and it failed to get there, but the main point that was bothering me here is that normally, you know, well, it's okay to have the extension in the fifth wave. The wave 3 here's got good form, so that's all right. But wave 1 here compared to wave 5 here is just really out of whack. So I'll just go to the tick chart. I'll just stay here for a second, but I was thinking that we could also view this here. We just need to, because we need to look at all sides. I know this gets a little bit confusing here, but it's just good to look at each side of things. So this here makes a nice third wave here. So in a way it looks nicer if this is wave 1 here and 2 here and 3 here and 4 here. So in this instance here, if you just humor me for a moment, then this wave 2 low here, we take it to the top here, we're at the 38.2% retracement level anyway. This would be the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree down through here, so it could come down to this point here. But I do think that we should just give this a chance to reveal itself a little bit further. If I go to the tick chart, this is 100 ticks, by the way, when we're looking at this here. So from this correction 1, 2, 3, 4, that's all been quite good. So I was looking at this being here as wave 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 to the third, fourth and fifth. So looking at this as wave 1 here and ABC for wave 2 here, and then this fifth wave here as the third wave as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then 5 to this point here, right? So that would leave us with this as an A wave here, and then an A and a B and a C wave here for the B wave, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 down here for the C wave here. So I just wanted to point out, and we've also got this 3 here as well. So when the market's working with this number here, the 5 here, then 3 always comes in as a nice support. So I'd be concerned if the 3 became the resistance here. I could only really turn bearish if the number 2 here within group 1 here, the 1, 2 and 3 here from the 11,000, if this became the retested resistance here, then I would be I'd be sort of in bearish mode at that point. So I just think that because we've had a reaction at the 3,400, we shouldn't panic. And I mentioned this yesterday as well, is that we're expecting a pullback from the 3,400 on the excuse me, on the S&P, and we should just chill out, just allow it to be. And yes, we can get into the guessing game like I am doing now, saying, oh, this could be a wave 4 here as an A and a B and a C here. Let's just see how that goes. And it finishes off, it does count nicely as 1, 2, 3. The only trouble with wave 4 here is that it's pulled back way beyond the, it's pulled back 60% rather than 40%. What we do have here, though, we have wave 1 and 2. We could view all this as the third wave here, the fourth and the fifth here. So we do have this here. So what I'm trying to say here is I don't think we should be shorting right at this particular point here. We need to wait for more evidence here. So I'm putting a case here on the NASDAQ that the NASI can push up from this point here and make another high here based on 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, and then we'll take a look at it. The S&P doesn't have to do the same. They don't, all the markets don't have to do the same thing, and in fact a lot of them are not doing the same thing. You know, when you look at the DJ and the transports and whatnot, the Russell and so on, they're all sort of doing slightly different things. So we need to, bear that in mind. They're all the same, but different. So I really want to just allow this to play out as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, and then see what we have here at this point. Now, one thing I can say is that this is the current high here, and I have tried to count this up here, but it's a little bit tricky in here. I'll just have to spend more time on it, and I will do that, and just pin that down, but I just couldn't do it quickly here. So the takeaway here, though, is that we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. Okay, so that means that if this low is breached here, we could short, but in shorting, just be mindful it may just come down to this level here, because for other reasons that I won't go into at the moment. But as a bearish trader, we do have 5 waves down from the top, so that can be bearish. And in that instance here, we just look at the top here and the low here. I'll just take that off the low a little bit there because of the high, and it also doesn't have to come this high here as well, so don't get fixated on that. But what we can look for here is an A and a B and a C wave here. We're just looking for 3 waves here. So if that's the case, then I can't draw on this side of the tick chart, so I'll just draw over here. So we've had the low here. We've got the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave here. So under this B wave here, that's the that low here that's the one that you can short at that point. Now you could also draw a line through here, as I mentioned, and get short over here as well. So I'll just leave that at that point. So we're just in observation mode at the moment, but we can short the low here, and we can short the low of wave B here once it comes into play. Okay. So that's really this here at the moment. And this will be the same with the S&P here as well. So let's just take a closer look at this. Just before we go to the tick chart, this is just the 15-minute chart here. We can see that we're at a really sort of low here because it's taken out previous lows here. It starts to just trip. So when this is just the stochastic. So when the market starts to, I mean, it's when the stochastic takes out the tops or the bottoms, it just flatlines. So we just need to go to the next degree higher. So I'm just going to go to the hourly chart here. And we can see here that it doesn't mean that that's the end of it here, and we'll pop up here, but it does present a good case for that, doesn't it? And you can go to the next degree higher as well. I mean, what I was trying to say is when the stochastics are fantastic, because I like in which the speed this moves in relationship to the price it moves here. But you need to understand that, when you're at double top, so you're taking out a top here, they'll just start to flatline here. So you just need to understand that. But the point is that it can pop back from these areas here. So I wanted to go into the tick chart and just take a closer look at this particular top here. So this is 100 ticks from the top here. We can see we've got 1 and 2 and 3 to here, an A and a B and a C to wave 4 here. And it makes a pretty good case for, does it? Let me just check the cash market here. I'll just get the cash market. So this is the SPX 1 minute chart here, and what we can see here is we've got the high over here, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. That's cool. And then we've got the correction here, and then we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It doesn't really play out nicely here, but wave 3 here, wave 4 here, and I was just assuming this was wave 5 here, but I was just looking at it a bit closer, and it's just a bit of a concern really, because I can see that that's 5 waves into this space here. From there we got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So that would be 1 and 2 and 3 to here, 4 to here, and 5 to here. So that looks like it's just one wave structure here. So then we've got this correction back here. That's cool. So I mean, I was just thinking this was the 5th wave here, and we had the 3rd wave all in here, but I can see this, unless that's an A and a B and a C here, that could work. We'll just have to be a little bit careful though. I mean, I'm just thinking if this could be a series of 1s and 2s to the downside then, in terms of down for 1 and back for 2, down for 1 and back for 2, and then this is just a bigger move coming down in here. So it's just coming back to the 100 ticks here as well. This is where I first just noticed it here, because I know that that's 5 waves in that structure here. So we could count as 1 and 2 and 3 here, an A and a B and a C for wave 4 here, and then wave 5. Just a bit, yeah, it's got me bothered a little bit now. So if this low gets taken out here, we don't rally off here, then we really need to be a bit, have a small position on the short side here. If the 72 here, or the 70 and 72 become the retested resistance, we should look to get in a small position there, but it's at a bit of a risk. But otherwise we should just pop up here for the A wave here for this. Doesn't bring us much high, does it, here? But that's where we're sort of heading to at this point. So I'll just leave it at that, but I just want to recap it on the 15-minute chart here. I already got this in here anyway, so that's cool. Okay, so I already covered myself. Sorry, just waffling on and thinking at the same time. So, okay, so look, it does appear that we've got 5 waves down here, but we just need to be careful that it doesn't just cascade down and we miss it. I'd feel like an idiot at that point. So the next question we come to, besides all of this, we kind of know we know how to resolve this now. We'll short below this low here. We're expecting it to give us an ABC pattern. We can short the low of wave B here. We can also draw a line from the lows through to here. Sometimes it works out nicely, and sometimes it doesn't. You know, sometimes it can be way down here and it's just useless, and other times it's up here. So, but I'll just leave that with you at that point. And the next thing is like, well, how far can this actually come down here? So let's just go to, there's a couple of things I want to have a look at. Obviously, we'll just go back to the daily chart first. So looking at this particular move here, first of all, what I can say is that double tops are never the end of the bullish run. But the question is how far they pull back. Now, you know, I've had a little bit of difficulty with this particular trend here, and I've looked at it in different ways, but I've kept wave 4 here and tried to count 5 waves to this particular point here, and that's all worked out quite nicely. So now I'm a little bit lost. Now, technically, if this is got, let's just say for a moment that I've got something right, and that is wave 3 here, and well, then wave 4 should pull back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. So that's kind of what we could be up for here. But that said, because I'm unsure about this particular move here, yesterday we started to look at that in a different way as well, as a bit of an option here. So I just want to bring that into the fold, and that is this here. So still keeping wave 4 here, but looking at this as wave 1 here and 2 here. This is how we originally had it here. And then looking at this as wave 1 here and 2 here, and then looking at all of this as wave 3 here. So I'm thinking that the first port of call would be this one here, would be 3325. And possible if we, you know, it's not such a bad thing here, because all of this here is quite a long trend, isn't it? So it does really make a good case for a third wave here. So we could just be looking at an ABC correction within this space here. But it's a long way from where we are at the moment, isn't it? So you know, we're looking at this and we're saying to ourselves, okay, we've got 5 waves down here. We're just going to short it below this low here. And we'll see how we go with it. I wouldn't overtrade this situation because we're trading against the trend. So it's something that we need to understand. Also on the bullish side of things as well, we just need to be mindful that in this case here, it does appear that we've got 5 waves down from the top here. But remember on the Nasdaq, we're also counting the possibility of having this as an A wave here and a B wave here and a C wave here, and that could be the same for this market as well here, because when we look at this here on the 15-minute chart here, if I don't mind pointing out, is that from wave 4 here I can count this up here, but then this becomes really messy in this space here. So, you know, maybe we've got a top here and we've got an A wave here and a B wave here and a C wave here, and that's the low here. So that's what I also want to be careful about as well. I just want to be, you know, mindful about these things. So we don't really have enough evidence yet. Also on the long side here, as we talked about yesterday, is that we don't particularly want to trade long because we trade to a level, we get out, and then we wait for support. So this 34 here is not support yet. And if it was going to be support, then we would need to see it push up. So let's just assume for a moment that that we've got some sort of correction here and the market does push up here. We're still not going to get involved in that, because even if it pushes above here, we would still want to see a classic trading levels pattern sitting here. So we would want that reference point high in here, and we can bring it down to the second high, and we could probably also bring it in here. So we would need to see that. If we're going to go long, we want that number there as support. We want all the orders there, you know, holding that demand point there. So, and then we can push up from that point. So that's how we'll go long, unless we see this expand here further, and I can see a way in on the long side, and also on the short side as well. So we're going to, important here is that we're not really going to worry about the bigger picture too much. We're just going to focus on the small stuff, on the details. We're just going to be working on so from day to day on the details. We'll just work through this, and we'll find we'll get on the right side at the right time. We just want to be a little bit careful about how we do this. Alrighty, I've waffled on long enough. So just to recap again, we're just going to we are going to short it below the low here, but just make them smaller trades because we don't have enough evidence just yet. And if this does expand out further here, so let's just say that this is wave 1 here and we've got wave 2 here, well then we'd still want 3, 4 and 5 here. If we get 5 waves, you know, of something like that size there, then we know that we're going to get an ABC pattern here, and then we're going to get another 5 waves down, either the same distance or add another 60% onto that 100%. So that then we're away at that point. But we don't know if we've got that impulse wave here yet. You know, that's what we don't know just yet. And let's face it, we're in a bull market. More money into the system for Trump's election, you know. So this is why we drew out this particular larger pattern here yesterday to accommodate, to, you know, work our way through this this situation here. So anyway, we're not going to do anything in the next session, and we'll see if Friday is bullish, then we're going to be continuing to the upside. If Friday is bearish, then I also know that we've got a change in trend at that point. So that's the bullish weekly cycle. So we'll keep an eye on what occurs on Friday will occur on Monday. Okay, cheers.